autism and throwing it on the simmer. Just about to go for another patrol before I just do this. I caught throwing on the simmer because I forgot what it was about, but this person asked me how my night goes and was going, and this was like a month or 5-6 weeks ago, and I gave them an honest opinion, and I didn't say any names. I just said, oh, this person is a certain person, this issue and that issue, and they were just like, yep, throw it on the simmer. But they were, well, they're definitely neurodivergent, because I can tell, because we can tell. So whether it was a autistic person or an ADHD person, meaning like a mixture of autism and ADHD, I'm not sure. But the person, I ended up having a half an hour chat to them, and they were a lot younger, so they in many ways reminded me of myself when I was younger, but in many ways different, because they looked different, and they had a robot leg. So I was like, yeah, not in those things. So different hobbies, but similar personality in many ways. Well, it's when you're dealing with people like that are relentless on your case all the time, you can like deal with half of the abuse being thrown your way, and the other half is too much to handle, so you just put it on the back burner, especially if it's like 20 or 30 people, and then you just keep dealing and dealing and dealing and dealing, and you're like putting your full effort into dealing with it, and then by the time you're 25 years old, late 20s, it starts to, 30 years old, it eases up, starts to ease up. And then there's that saying of those who were the nicest growing up become the meanest when they're in their 30s. Well, I never did anything, so I just barked back when people gave me issues. But the thing is now, once I left those environments, I had dealt with 50%, and the other 50%, I thought I'd dealt with 100% of the issues. But what had happened was the other 50% had gone into my subconscious, where I'd forgot about it, because it was every single day. So like you're dealing with things every single day, and let's say it's 20 to 30 people. Let's say you dealt with half, you got over and healed from half the abuse they gave to you over a space of 3 years. Well, you still got the other half to go, but you forgot about it. It's gone into your subconscious or unconscious, and then when it comes up again, you got to deal with all that, and that only comes up in your quiet time, so it comes up when you're away from them. So, but then by then you're in another environment, so you're still dealing with that, but you get that all dealt with, and then you get the 50% dealt with this new environment. And then you got the 50% after that, once you leave that environment. Well, this environment is totally different, because they don't know me for the guy that was like, eventually stand up for himself. They know me for the guy who stands up for myself straight away. And the thing is there's a lot more understanding, because half of the people who work in the RMC and the SCC and management are either autistic or ADHD, so they understand. And I'm questioning this ADHD thing, because I've got good self-control. That's how come my savings got up to $1,740, even though I'm on the minimum pay rate. I'll go buy all these things, but instead of like getting the fancy energy drinks, I'll get them sometimes. More likely wait till I've done a couple of rounds or something, and then come back here and have a cup of coffee, or have a cup of coffee, and then, rather than, because I'm not breaking the rules if I walk past a convenience store and it's open and that's on my route, and I want there is a cafe here, okay, and there used to be a New World in the station, so we could just go in and grab something as we're going on our round if we wanted to, because we weren't going out of our way, you know. So, but I have the discipline to just wait, you know, well, once a week or something. You know, it's not every payday I get something that's $15 from that place up there, but you know, it's just depends. Meaning, like, because sometimes they have me working here on a Wednesday, patrolling Thorn and Quay on a Wednesday, which means I'll be walking past it and it's just payday, and they got some very nice things for $10-15, and they got like 3 things that I enjoy that are $5. So if I haven't had my breakfast and it's on a I haven't had my breakfast before I come to work on Saturday and Sunday, I'll go get a couple of scones. So they got spinach and feta scones, and they got a cheese scones, and they're both $5. And then there's the date scones, it's $5, and you got sausage rolls. They're that thick and that wide for $5, and they're that long, so they're pretty decent. But yeah, throwing on simmer. If people are continuously coming at you and blaming everything on you for like, and it's like 30 people, you might be really strong and capable, and you might talk to your closest friends about it, you might stand up for yourself, you might do all this and that, but still, once you leave that environment, it's probably, even though you've done all that, there's probably only 50% of the trauma that's been dealt with. The other 50% you're going to have to work through, because dealing with the issues of 30 people is a lot. And I'm talking about the tannery and the factory I was at, so I'm past it now. I'll just never forget it. And another reason why I didn't leave was that was the first job I had all year round. So after 3 years, I had the confidence to go, you know what, I think I can get a job somewhere else and hold it. And I left, and I got another job, but it was another minimum pay rate job not at a tannery, it was at a factory, and everyone isolated me, all that type of thing. Well, not isolated me, but you know, like, just let me do my thing. And there was rumours and stuff, but no one was in my face screaming at me like at the tannery, like, who's this effing loser, man, you are a piece of this and that. Even though that would be when I was slower than them, and when I was at the same pace, and when I was faster. It didn't matter. If I was faster, it was because I had to owe up for my shit piss days, my useless days. When I was slower, and when I was slower, it was because I was useless, and I should be getting paid less than them. They should be getting paid more. And when it was the same, it was, gee, it took you long enough to catch up. So it didn't matter. And you can deal with all the garbage of, you can do all that things and stand up for yourself eventually. Have some close friends that they air their problems to you, and you do the same, and you comfort each other as well as encourage each other and all this. And you can do all that, but you're still going to leave that workplace after after 3 years, and you're going to have the other 50% of stuff to work through whilst you find yourself in another environment. Now, this place is minimum pay rate, but they all know about me planning to move elsewhere, because they don't have cybersecurity options. Otherwise, I'd stay here with the cybersecurity options, because cybersecurity gives you entry rate is $90,000 a year for 40 hours. And here in New Zealand, if you work 40 hours, the average person gets 50,000, and that's entry rate. So like then 1 year later, it goes up to like 120,000 if I do another year's worth of study on the cybersecurity. So they're like, yeah, man, sounds good, because they brought me up about it, and I was a bit fearful, and then they said, oh, that's awesome. Good to see you got your future sorted out and things like that. So throwing it on the simmer is sometimes the only option, because you got 20-30 people going hard out, unleashing their stuff on you, and you see no way out, but you do everything you can to deal with it. So you've dealt with 50% of all that rubbish, and then you leave the place and life goes on. You can't just sit around doing the emotional healing and all that type of thing. You still got another place, and yeah, that's how it goes.